Hey guys, welcome back. So I got a video for y'all today on this palette right here. This is the BH Cosmetics Fairy Lights 20 color shadow palette. So this is their holiday palette this year. So fun and sparkly. So we're just going to chat about all things related to this palette, like pricing, packaging. We'll look at some swatches. I'll talk to you guys about the formula of these shadows and how they are to work with, and I'll give you my overall thoughts and opinions on this palette, and then I will also show you a tutorial on this look right here. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so the price of this palette will vary based on what kind of sales are going on, but retail price, it's $20. Here is the outside sleeve on it, so kind of like clear with some printing on it, so that's cute. And then the actual palette itself is adorable. It's like this duochrome white with pink and duochromy green sparkle, so it just kind of like catches the light so beautifully. The back is just silver, but the front is so sparkly and fun. It's like a sturdy cardboard packaging, not like the fanciest packaging, but still nice and functional and sturdy. Does have a mirror in here, and then here is the palette itself. So it kind of has like that like metallic-y, silvery background to it. So color story for this palette, I really enjoy this because it's a neutral palette, but with some fun pops of color in here. So it's kind of a combo of both. So you could go with a totally neutral look with this palette, or you could really like concentrate more on the pinks and the blues and get a really fun, creative, colorful sort of a look. There's a lot of like duochromy, just light catching sort of shades on this top row. So I love that. I think that's very kind of holiday. So to me, I think this is a very kind of sugar plum fairy kind of a color story, which I think is really, really fun. But like I said, you could go totally neutral with this palette or colorful. So you kind of have options there. So love what's happening color story wise in here. And then look at these pretty swatches. So I'm going to try to read the names to you, but this palette is so reflective I might have to like do a lot of moving around to try to read them to you, but I'm gonna try my best. Okay, so this is Brilliant, Darling, Luminous, Glistening, Sultry. Second row, this is Precious, Angelic, Radiant, Bliss, and Divine. Third row, this is Enchanting, Gleaming, what does that say? Mesmerize, Rare. This one is Twinkling. And then bottom row, wow, look at those. Muse, Adorn, Marvelous. Ooh, what does that one say? Enamored, I think. Enamored. And then that last one is Passionate. Passionate. So there are all the swatches. So formula on these shadows and my overall thoughts and impressions on this palette, I find them to be really easy to work with. The mattes especially are very blendable. They're pigmented but not difficult to blend out or work with. They work well with each other. The metallic-y shades are really pretty. I will say some of them are a little bit more, I wouldn't say like loosely packed, but and I wouldn't necessarily say delicate, but I did notice with this one, I kind of like scraped into it a little bit and gouged it a little bit. So they seem to be slightly loosely packed when you kind of get down into them a little bit. So I would say just definitely tap off your brush. And I would use those with a setting spray because that does kind of help kick them up a notch. I don't think they necessarily need it for that reason, but I do think that it does help kick them up, but then also helps to kind of hold them together. So I don't have a problem working with shadows like that. Doesn't bother me at all because I think they're beautiful on the eyes, but I do want to note that to you. Wear time, I think I've noticed a little bit of fading with them. Nothing major, but I would just use a good shadow primer with them. So I would say good primer, and I would tap off your brush with them, but I mean, you can really create some beautiful eye looks with this palette. It's so affordable. I love BH Cosmetics shadows. This palette is no different. I think it's amazing. I have loved playing with it. So just say tap off your brush and use a shadow primer, you know? I really don't notice a lot of fallout on my face unless I really dig my brush into, especially the metallic-y shades, unless I really dig my brush into them and have too much product on my brush, and then it's just too much product, so it's gonna go everywhere. So that's really the only time I notice some fallout with them. But I think it's a beautiful palette. I'm loving it. I think it's a good one, especially for the price. So now we're gonna get to the tutorial. Let's get to that. Okay, so I already applied some eyeshadow primer, so I'm gonna set it with some of this cream shade right here. Okay, next I'm gonna grab some of this pink shade right here, Radiant, on a crease brush. Let me wipe that off first on my pajama pants. So I have a cleaner brush to use. Okay, gonna get some of that, tap off my brush, and apply this into my crease and transition area. Next, I'm going to take a smaller crease brush and get some of this shade right here, kind of a cool toned grayish taupey shade. I'm going to apply this in my outer corner and then bring it across into my crease as well. Not quite as high as that pink, but close to. Okay, now I'm going to take a little combination of Bliss and Muse. So this one and this one right here on a small brush, the same Morphe M507. So get a little combo of those and apply this into my outer corner just for that depth and dimension. Okay, now I'm going to take my favorite shade, I think, in the whole palette, this one right here, Brilliant, and get some of that on a Chique eyeshadow brush. Tap that off, spray it with some setting spray, and then apply this all over my lid. Well, kind of like the inner half of my lid. I'm applying just a little bit more with my fingertip just to get a little bit more of a pop. You can also go back in and add a little bit more of that outer corner shade or combo if you feel like you need to, if you lost any of that. I'm tempted to play with the pink, but I think I'm gonna go with Twinkling and use a little bit of that as my upper lash line liner. So I'm gonna take a Delium Tools 760, it's a tiny angled brush, get some of that on this brush, tap it off, spray it with some setting spray, and apply this to my upper lash line. I think I need a bigger brush to do this, so I will get a, let me find something. I'm going to use this one instead. A Sigma Eyeliner E05 brush. Now I'm going to apply some mascara to my upper lashes. The BH Cosmetics Stellar Lash and It Cosmetics Superhero. So I'm going to apply this and I'll be right back. Also applied some concealer, powder, bronzer, and blush. So for my lower lash line, I'm going to get some of, I feel like I'm eating my hair. I was going to get some of Gleaming and use this as a pretty kind of lower lash line pop of glowy color. So tapping off my brush, going to spray my brush with some setting spray and then apply this to my lower lash line. There's a hair on it. And then for the inner corners of my eyes, I'm going to pop a little bit of Luminous there. This is so pretty because it looks like it's going to be just kind of a champagne white, but it has a little bit of like a blue duochrome. I'm going to spray my brush just a little bit to bring out that metallic-y duochrome. Ooh, my eyes are starting to water. So I'm going to finish off with some CoverGirl Clump Crusher on my lower lashes. And then I'm also going to use some of Brilliant as my cheek highlighter. It's so pretty as a cheek highlighter. So I'm going to use that, and then I'll show you the final look. Okay guys, so that wraps up this video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was, and let me know down below what you think about this palette. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!